Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Unblinded Real Raw, episode 80-something. And today is the day of like crazy Zoom links. Regardless, we are here, we are live, we're excited. Rudy is no longer named Matt or Krista. He is actually named Rudy, and his camera is on. And that's what's happening here. But what's going to happen for the remainder of the call is that we're going to demonstrate that influence is a superpower. It's present here, and we're going to have a little competitive edge on what we can learn as well. And of course, this wouldn't be possible without the man who has driven this. He has been at every single Real Raw. The gentleman who discovered the formula over 22 years, investing millions of dollars in personal growth and development. He is one of only 2 attorneys on the planet to have back-to-back national jury verdicts, has the largest jury verdict in the state of Arizona, and was able to generate $10.7 million from Tony Robbins' stage in 7 minutes. Oh, and by the way, he's also legally blind and got attacked, AKA bumped by a shark last week in the waters of LBI, and he's still here, and he didn't even miss a Real Raw. And Sean, if you can see everyone's face, they are freaking out and also grateful. And welcome, sir, to another episode of the Real Raw. Sean, what say you?
Fernando, thank you. That is too kind. And by the way, Fernando, you are the #1 student in the formula that I've ever had over this past 23 years. And that includes people like Michael Smikin, who I've given a $1 million bonus check to, and other people numerous people, dozens that have gotten 6-figure bonus checks. And I just want to thank you for your commitment, your just absolute undying love for growth and impacting people and peopleification. So great job, brother. And of course, we would be nowhere without Vivian. Vivian, your absence is felt like the Grand Canyon. Like your absence is to like presence what the Grand Canyon holds. So how are you, Vivian?
I am so blessed to be here. It's so exciting to spend as much time as I have today. We had a Real Raw, another one's coming. This is like really moving. So I'm just psyched to be with everybody here.
Awesome. And so, yeah, you want to take us in? Let's maybe start with our judges today, and then we'll get to our amazing participants.
Yes, we're going to start with Donna Weber. And she is from Montreal originally, right? And it's like 100 degrees out there today.
Sure is.
And you have created Make Magic, business branding and development. But with a name like Weber, Dana Work centers around web design and all things www, World Wide Web, action-based energy, faster than abracadabra, and open-minded, creative, and giving. Dana delivers. She makes it fun and she gets it done. At the core of her business is her contagious passion and compassion, and her endless drive to explore and connect. The wizard in the house. Welcome, Dana.
Woo, woo, woo. I need to. Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
I was going to say, I love the fact that you you extract things from people, like their greatness. So thank you for being here, and please back to you, Dana.
Thank you so much, Vivian. I need to take you in my back pocket, and you'll be my like permanent introducer from now on, my MC, my mistress of the house.
I'm ready.
I'm really excited to be here. Thanks so much, everyone.
All right. And Dana's coming from the beautiful left coast out in California. Excellent. And Vivian, we have more rock stars. Who else we got?
We have Dr. Anju in from New Jersey, and she'll let us know where she's from. She is founded in 1997, Divorce and Dignity Mediation Services, which provides family and divorce and business/civil mediation services. A Wharton MBA and extensive experience working in the financial world make her uniquely qualified to conduct complex economic mediations. She is passionate about mediation and obsessed with providing quality service at an affordable price, is also active in training and mentoring mediators, and has trained over 1,300 professionals in the field of mediation. The mediation and legal communities, as well as the New Jersey courts, acknowledge Anju as one of the most experienced and competent mediators in the region. So welcome, Dr. Anju.
Thank you. Straight up rock star. Straight up rock star. You didn't tell us that before. Amazing.
I took my crown off today, but I'll put it back on later.
Yeah, for real. That is like truly outstanding. And by the way, I own Callagy Law. We have a family law division. And so I will be making sure that we keep in mind the great work that you do in the world.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome. And Vivian, we have one more amazing judge.
We do. We have Rudy Rodriguez. Another Rodriguez in the house. Two Rodriguez. Is it a Rodriguez day, I think? with Tony Rodriguez. He's the founder of Wingman Coaching. Rudy Rodriguez is in the business of helping thought leaders and seminar leaders double, triple, and 10x their sales and their profits by using sales teams that are heart-centered. Rudy spent 10 years in the U.S. Navy and 4 years U.S. Navy Academy, graduating as a commissioned officer. Went to flight school to become a naval aviator. With 2 deployments in the Middle East and Asia, Wingman Coaching helps numerous people and has a revenue of $20 million in coaching, training, education, and mentorship programs to help people thrive in their life. And Rudy has also been a Tony Robbins Platinum Partner for many years. So welcome, Rudy.
Rudy, thank you.
Just 1 year officially, but once a plat, always a plat, and I keep hanging around plat, so it just seems that way.
Rudy,
That's because you're platinum, baby, no matter what.
yeah, thank you, Rudy, for your service.
You're welcome, sir. And just to clarify that, to be in integrity with that, we've helped our clients to do over 20 million in sales, coaching, education, and mentorship programs, and our revenues has been a percentage of that revenue. So just to be totally transparent.
Yeah, no, Rudy, thank you for that. And again, thank you for your service. And you're a Naval Academy graduate, did I hear?
Yes, sir. The great class of 2008.
Wow, amazing. And so what is interesting to me about that is that 2 of the 3 judges, Vivian, were teams that I competed against in my league in college, because it was the EIBL, it was the Ivy League plus Army and Navy. So I had the privilege of playing at Annapolis twice, at West Point twice, and each year they, of course, played, the opposite years they played by us. And with Dr. Anju, being a Wharton graduate, UPenn was in our league also. There's like the former EIBL, because Army and Navy have moved out of the league now, and it's just the Ivy League without Army and Navy. So just like 2 former competitors from amazing institutions. So again, welcome to these incredible judges.
This is so awesome.
Thank you, Sean.
And now we have drum rolls for our contestants here. We have Rock Thomas in the house. He's actually here. He has a microphone. Your t-shirt says, "We don't apologize for being awesome." Oh, I love that. I'm not apologizing for you either. You are awesome. As seen on Gold Coast, Rock Thomas has impacted over 100 million lives. He is the host of the top-rated #1 #IamMovement podcast, a best-selling author and motivational speaker with over 30 years of experience in personal development. From humble beginnings on a small Canadian farm near Montreal, Rock Thomas became a self-made millionaire and devoted himself to helping others learn the power of their identity. So welcome, Mr. Rock Thomas.
Rock,
I'm going to record that and play that every morning. Boom!
Rock, great job. Thank you for being here, and incredibly impressive background. What keeps you going, brother? I often ask people that are like everybody else in this call, super high achievers, what drives you to this day?
You know, it's a lot of things, but one is to be my personal best, which I think is a mission of life. And the other thing is to help people not experience the pain that I experienced in trying to be my personal best by pointing out the things that they can do or not do. So I don't have a lot of difficulty being motivated.
Awesome, brother. Well, welcome, and it's an honor to have you here.
And I left my beautiful Dr. Connie Oosterholt for last from the Netherlands, but she's in from LA today. Dr. Connie Oosterholt is also known as the Queen of the Boardroom. And has leveraged over 25 years working directly with women business leaders in 17 countries, mentors to high net worth business women in 10 plus industries. She has been consistently focused on the power of feminine energy in negotiations, networks, and the nuanced areas of business leadership. Connie has been a master trainer and a master coach for Tony Robbins for many years. Welcome, Connie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Connie, welcome.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said welcome, and it's an honor to have you here. And I've seen you speak on stage, and your presence and your leadership is apparent, and it's felt here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome. So, Vivian, I think we have one more amazing person, and it's Mr. Get Up and Grow, where you grow through what you go through, Tony Rodriguez, Tony Robbins trainer, real estate's superlative master, entrepreneur, trainer, coach, consultant, leader, and just like genuine good guy. And oh, by the way, I think he's like a farmer part-time. Tony,
Yeah,
what's up,
totally.
brother?
He's a beekeeper. He has eggs that his hens just got laid.
No comments. Yeah.
Oh God! Listen, I'll tell you. You guys all get Vivian's intro. I got to have Sean's. That's always a good one. Uh, but thank you for having me here. Yeah, I do have a bit of a, I guess we'll call it a gentleman's farm. It's not a huge, it's not an operation or anything, but I do have a lot going on for sure. Keeps life interesting.
John and I believe you live in a farm. You live in a farm, Tony.
Okay. Yes, I do.
Well, I had just got laid turtle eggs laid in my backyard yesterday. So we're competing. So down in LBI, turtles were laying eggs in the backyard, digging holes. And so I'm competing with you to have more eggs laid on my property in the next 6 months. And we're going to like create a turtle incubator down here.
Well, you know, it's really funny. I was actually in my garden the other day pulling up some weeds, and I found some turtle eggs as well. That we have wood box turtles by us. So there you go, competition on competition.
Tony, one up, and awesome job, brother.
You're just making that up, Tony. You're just making that up.
No, I swear, it's funny.
Well, did you get bumped? Did you get bumped by a shark last week, Tony?
Thank you.
No, you have that. I cannot. I did get bumped by a bee and it looked like I fought Mike Tyson over the weekend. But no sharks. I don't want any part of that.
Yeah. Well, I want you to come down to LBI. We got to surf together, and then we'll compare egg stories. Enough of this. It is time to get into the real raw with Rock and Dr. Connie. Let's have some fun with our amazing judges for today. Vivian, you are a rock star. Thank you. Tony, let's get ready to drop in. So Connie and Rock, the way this works, if you don't know, is we just like toss a coin, and one of you go first and one of you go second. There's 2 rounds. It's 1 6-minute conversation split in half because we're here to explore the contours of the superpower of integrity-based, heart-centered influence. And it's like not hyperbolic, even though it feels hyperbolic, because the distinctions between Oprah Winfrey and being a multi-billionaire and somebody who like had a show for a year, to the outside naked observer eye, it looks like a micro distinction difference, and we might not even be able to tell the difference in a quick conversation. But what is it that separates the exponential leaders and influencers of leaders and influencers from everybody else? And that's what we're here to explore and have some fun. So, let's go with this. I have either a 1 or a 2 under the table. And since Dr. Connie is like sort of from the Netherlands, but LA also, we'll go with Dr. Connie. Is it a 1 or a 2?
It's a 1.
It is a 2. So that means you get to choose whether you'd like to go first or second. If you go first in the first round, you keep your choice in the second round. What will it be?
That's I get to choose?
Yes, you did. Dr. Connie did not win the choice. Yep.
Seeing as I have no idea what I'm going to do, I'm going to let Connie go first.
Excellent. Right. Dr. Connie, first round, this is one conversation to go from hello to yes about a yes that matters to you in the world. It could be anything. Tony could be himself, or you could make him anybody. We've had Tony and other amazing role players be Oprah Winfrey, Donald Trump. People have selected Tony Robbins, ideal clients, charitable heads. He could be anybody you want. We just suggest that it's a person that you're seeking a yes from, like an important yes for you in the world. So Dr. Connie, what's a yes that you're seeking in the world? Let's make Tony that person. Who would you like Tony to be?
I would like Tony to be partly himself as a businessman. And I think I go for that persona.
Cool. And judges, what we're assessing Dr. Connie and Rock on the first round is not getting a sale. And the 6 minutes could just lead to more time. So it's whatever the yes they're seeking. It doesn't have to be a sale. But in the first round, we're assessing how much they create an emotional rapport, right? Where they open the depth of Tony's listening and put something at stake. And then the second round, where they talk about how they can solve that thing they put at stake, that pain point they've exposed in the second round and get to a yes. So the first round is not about a yes. It's about creating emotional rapport. Tony's getting a call. He's like, I'll be right back. They don't have to set up the second half of the call. It's going to be like a break point and go. So Dr. Connie, are you ready?
I am.
All right. Tony, here we go.
Is this a preset appointment or is this a cold call?
Preset appointment, right, Connie?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Tony. This is
Connie.
Connie, Dr. Connie. How are you?
Hi, Dr. Connie. Great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. And thank you for taking this call. I really appreciate that. I can call you Tony, right?
Of course.
And Tony, I do believe we've met before. Have you been in the Tony Robbins environment? Did I see you there?
I have been there once or twice.
Absolutely. I thought I remember you. So we have that in common because Tony is one of my role models, mentors in many, many, many areas. So Tony, to come straight to the point, how can I help you? How can I support you? I've heard that you're looking for some solutions in your business. So please tell me a little bit about you and how I can help you.
Well, business is always about how can we generate more revenue with less output, right? You know, and being able to have the deliverables on time and proper staff, have proper training with staff and that sort of thing. So always looking for that next edge on how I can improve my my leadership position and my management and sales staff and culture of the company and everything else. So I'm always looking for that next edge on how to be a better leader for my organization and how I can best serve them.
Beautiful.
As well.
I like that. So I assume, and please correct me if that's not the case, I assume that your business is functioning quite okay with probably some tweaks and twists somewhere to make it even better. Is that correct?
Correct. It's okay, but okay isn't good enough.
There you
it's always
go. Yeah, absolutely. So give me please 3 of the areas where your business is really good, more than okay.
I think in deliverables, when we make a commitment to something, we honor it. So if it's a product that we're delivering or a service, we make sure that we're on it and we're really good at doing it.
Great. That is beautiful. And that is what the client appreciates, right? So that is always a dependency and accountability and a responsibility. That's awesome. So time-wise, I keep to the 1 point and not the 3. We might get into that later, if that's okay with you. And now name 1 area where you think, well, that's not exactly where I like it to be. What is the 1 area in your business that you like to improve on?
Efficiency.
Okay. And when you say efficiency, meaning is that people, skills, or systems?
Tony, you got a call in about 20 seconds, brother.
All right.
Yeah, I've got a call coming in that I've got to take, but yeah, it's really it's in systems and people as well. It's just having people be more efficient. And
Thank you. Thank you, Tony. I'm respectful of your time. Would you mind continuing this after your call?
Sure.
Wonderful. I'll speak to you shortly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Excellent, Connie. Tony, if you had 1 word for the feeling, how'd that round feel for you?
It was good. It was.
How did it feel, though, like first feeling?
Comfortable.
Okay, excellent. Dr. Andrew, so what we're going to do is, I know this is your first time, well, actually, pause. We're going to go first to Rock and then we'll go to judges. So excellent job, Connie. Rock, are you ready to drop in with Tony?
Yes.
Or who would you like him to be?
I'll go with the same persona so that I can be fairly judged.
All right, drop in, sir.
Hey, Tony, it's Rock Thomas. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Rock. How are you?
I tell you, that beard is looking awfully charming on you.
It's my Corona beard and hair. I haven't been this long in years.
I've known you for a while now. You look good no matter what you sport. So listen, we have just a couple of minutes together to discover whether there's something that I can do to help you. I'd love to ask you 3 quick questions. Is that okay?
Sure.
Awesome. So if you were to think of 3 words that other people use to describe you, what would those be?
That's great. That's a great question. I would say integrity-based,
Mm-hmm. Great.
loyal,
Yeah.
and committed.
Wow. Sounds like an awesome person. I love it. Now tell me, do you describe yourself the same way, Tony?
In many ways, yes.
So that would seem like you appear to be very congruent in how you feel about how you are and how other people perceive you. True?
I do my damnedest to walk my talk. Yes,
Okay.
congruency is something that that I strive for.
And is that something that you learned from your dad? Where did you learn that?
I learned that from being disappointed in other people,
Yeah.
and from other people not keeping their word, and really from some of my own mistakes that I've made in the past, and misjudgments, um, and betrayals and that sort of thing that I've unfortunately experienced. So that just made my integrity that much, it made integrity that much more important to me when I saw it lacking so much in others.
It sounds like you've had some intense emotional experiences around that.
Oh yeah, I'd say so.
Is that something that you hope to be able to be a good role model for your children going forward?
Absolutely. That's something that that's absolutely something that I'm striving for, and trying to set the example, not just for my kids, but for anyone that that I can influence.
Yeah. It's such a great topic because today I think integrity is not represented in politics and things like that. So how do you plan on going about, like, how do you make that part of your life?
You know, I think it comes with again, walking your talk. A lot of people talk the talk, but not everybody walks the walk. So I think it's about, as I say, the old saying goes, saying what you mean and meaning what you say, and then doing what you say.
Yeah.
And keep your commitment to not just to other people, but to keeping the commitments you make to yourself, which are the ones that we tend to violate sometimes more often. So it's important to keep that, to keep those commitments and honor those commitments. And I think that that's a huge part of integrity.
I'd love to talk about that and how it relates to your business, because I'm guessing you get a lot of referral business. Does that make sense?
Yes, that is true.
It'd be cool if we could continue that conversation and see how that relates to expanding your business.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Listen, I do have to take this call that's just ringing in now. So yeah, I'd love to continue this talk.
All right. Thanks for being so vulnerable and transparent with me. I appreciate it, buddy.
I appreciate you, Rock.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Excellent, Warren Rock. Tony, one word for how that felt.
Deep.
Deep. Love it. Excellent. Dr. Andrew, we're going to give 30 to 45 seconds of feedback for each person, starting with Dr. Condon. And if you could give, maybe 15, 20 seconds on what worked, 15, 20 seconds on opportunity for growth, and a score on a scale of 1 to 10, right? 10 being perfect, very few 10s in the real raw, 5 being like, and everywhere in between. So Dr. Andrew, what do you got?
Okay. So I'm just going to talk because I'm not familiar with the format, and I really appreciated the rapport that she established and explaining the purpose of her conversation, which I always like, is like, why are you calling me, or what are you trying to do? And so I thought that it was very directed, and I like that she was able to obtain some key points. One is on his strongest asset, which is his ability to deliver, and what he considered his area for improvement, which was efficiency. Where I got a little lost was in the beginning when he started talking about wanting to improve leadership. We didn't build on that, and he seemed to want to talk about improving his leadership skills. So it's almost like we had two different conversations, because that would have been something I'd like to hear more about, because he seemed to want to really talk about being able to be a better leader to his people. But, overall, the objective of continuing the conversation and people zig and zag to get to where they need to was very effective. And so I guess I'd give it a score of around a 7 if I were going to give it a 7 in that.
Excellent.
I hope that analysis is
Yeah, more
spot
than.
on, but if you have questions or wanted to ask me something regarding that, please do.
Yeah, Dr. Andrew, this is really for the judges. You're just sensing a conversation and really assessing rapport and what was at stake. You did a beautiful job. That was beautiful feedback. And I'll drop in at different points, but excellent job. And let's go to Rock. What'd you have for Rock?
So Rock seemed to jump into the kind of the second part of it more, maybe because there's always already an established rapport that was there. So sometimes as a judge, I'm not familiar with it. So if it were a stranger, I would have said you jumped into the business fast, but there's a whole lot more going on that I'm not aware of. I think that in some ways it was more direct, which may be a good thing. Again, I don't know Tony enough to know whether he likes direct or he likes more of a dance. But getting the idea of the integrity, the loyalty, the reasons behind that and the importance of that to him, I think was really somewhat key. I mean, getting to the heart, sometimes getting to someone's emotions of what drives them is important. So ultimately, he did end up getting that yes to the further conversation, which was successful. In terms of style, I probably was more comfortable with Connie's because it was a little bit more structured than with Rock's, but everything is about, everyone likes a different amount of salt on their food. So that was my assessment, which is that it has to work for the two people. I would have liked to have taken the report part a little bit slower. That's my feedback.
Yeah, for a score.
Okay, so I'd probably give it a 6.
All right, beautiful. Dana, what'd you have? Thank you, Dr. Andrew. Dana?
I'm just going to unmute myself. There we go. Sorry. So I'm also a little unfamiliar with the format, but I get it. We're, coming up with a score, what worked, what didn't work. So that's cool. I'm going to start with Dr. Connie. Thanks so much. I really agree with what Anju just mentioned about, everybody takes a different amount of salt on their food. And so for me, your approach was extremely professional. I thought that for me, there was too much mention of, I'm taking up your time, I'm taking up your time. So when somebody is saying that to me, I get a feeling of they're trying to sell me something or they're trying to get something out of me. Now, I don't think Tony portrayed that, but I know Tony is role playing here, and depending on who you get, how tough or how easy they are on you. So just I'm mentioning how I would have felt about that. I thought you were extremely professional, but that part of it, and I do think that it really worked to ask for something that's working well and something that isn't working well. But I think that you asked for 3 things. It ended up going way too wide in what's like tapered off as a 3-minute call. So I think when you then, pedal back to one thing that's working well and working not well, because I also, like, you're talking about leadership and he's talking about all these things, and suddenly you have all these things in your hands. What do you respond to? So, but I think he responded very well to you. It was a very pleasant, calm exchange. Yeah, so I would give it a 7.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm going to go to Rock. And so Rock, in terms of my experience for this, much more my style. I thought that it was brilliant to position it as someone you already knew, because that helps you. I don't know if you really know each other in real life or not, but for the purpose of this. And I think that I found the way you dropped into a very deep conversation and was able to get information out of him. And Tony could have said, he could have skirted that if he had wanted to. I thought that was really well done. And you got him to talk about himself, to open up, you used the word vulnerable. I totally agree. I really think you did an excellent job, and I would give you a 9.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dana. And Rudy, what do you got?
I got lots of notes. All right. Hey guys, Connie and Rock, good to see both of you. You guys are both amazing human beings that impacted my life in a very positive way. So thank you. And I appreciate the opportunity to give back to you here. So I'll start with Connie. Connie, some things that I thought you did well. First of all, you immediately found what you had in common, right? One of the top rules of influence is find out what's already influenced somebody. And you were like, oh, Tony Robbins, one of my top mentors, and you like immediately went for the big thing in common. You also right away asked for permission to call him Tony instead of it by his formal last name or what have you. So immediately you asked for permission to do that. And let's see, those are two things that jumped out to me right away. My hallucination is something that could have been, there's a prime opportunity that could have been better when you asked him about his business and how things were going. He said things are going okay, but they could be better than okay. I love what you did. So the good thing was that you went into 3 things that are working and then what might not be working as well, so you could dig. But I think you could have immediately just been like, tell me more about that. Because his energy already started to flow towards, hey, there's something not okay and I kind of want to talk about it. Like right there, that would have been the goal to stay over. So that was just my quick feedback on that. Overall, I'm actually using Dr. Anu. He has such a long name here. There's like a sentence of all your accreditations. I'm not sure.
First, it must more stuff from New Jersey.
Doctor, I'm gonna use your score as.
So I just sent that out. I'm not a doctor. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm using your score as a baseline. So I'm actually going to go with the same score you had, which was 7 as a baseline here. So I'm going off of that baseline. Rock. Oh, sorry. One more thing. Host couldn't be even better. Just a little more specificity in the conversation. I think that was already, or it kind of was like a few different places. Maybe could have just led it a little bit more. Rock, for you, something I think you did really well. A few things. You immediately complimented him about the beard, right? So complimented him. I could tell that internally you were level 10 energy, even though you weren't like screaming at him. I could tell your energy was already like ready to give. And you were immediately like, hey, we only have a few minutes together. Let's use this time. You didn't say this exactly, but let's use this time intentionally so I can figure out if there's a way I can help you. So you were very intentional about like, we're going to discover, we have a few minutes. Let's have a conversation to discover how I can help you. And you went deep fast. I think that's the exact word Tony said was like deep. And you like literally helped identify you had him tell you his identity, which is integrity, loyalty, and commitment. And everybody needs to be congruent with their identity, right? The number one force that we all have. So you immediately knew how to influence him based off of his identity, which I thought was beautiful. My hallucination is the one thing that could have been a little bit better. And I get it because like, you guys just jumped right into it. It was just a clear call to action. And it is, you're like, hey, can we continue this conversation? But maybe just a little more specific, just specificity. But given the time constraint, I understand why there may not have been time to do that. So that's my feedback.
And would you have
and the score, I give you, again, using the same baseline, give you an 8.
Okay, outstanding. So yes, thank you, judges. For round 2, Connie, it's your choice to go first or second. What would you like to do?
You're muted, Connie, but she said first.
Yep, first.
Yeah,
Okay.
first, please.
Awesome. So in this round, this is now about, you put something at stake, you build rapport with Tony. Now it's to share how, you can go a little deeper into that if you like, then to share who and what you are, where Tony sees his future in you and your solution with integrity, and then moving into a yes. So Connie, you have 3 minutes. Take us in.
Hi, Tony. It's Connie again.
Hi, Connie.
Hi. So coming back to our last conversation, Tony, you talked about that your business was okay, and specifically what you want to improve on is as well the people in your business, right? Deliverables, great. People and systems are to be improved on. So my expertise is about people. And you also mentioned in the beginning about leadership. Now, when you talk about your team, when you talk about your people, you do talk about leadership. So the part is what you own, the part is how you train your people, and what the people in your business are owning themselves, so you can teach them self-leadership. So on a scale from 0 to 10, how great of a leader do you think you are in your business?
I'm probably an 8.
Great.
I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be an 8 because I think there's room for improvement.
Perfect.
You know, I'd like to say I was a 9, but I'm going to scale that back and say that I'm an 8 because there's, again, always room for improvement. There's always room to step into the next level.
Wonderful. Thank you. And how much of a training have you been giving to your people? 0 to 10.
I've probably been giving them 7.
7. Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And last question there is, how well have they picked it up? So on average, and you know, you have a team. How big is the team you have?
Right now, there's only 4 people.
4 people. So how would you rate them on average as a team in the topic of self-leadership?
Well, I think that they're pretty good, and it's about my being maybe offering more, or giving more training, and helping them to be more efficient, and delegating more, letting go of more control, because that's something that I tend to, not that I want to micromanage, but I tend to not delegate as much as I could and should, and I think that winds up transferring in some cases to them. And then the efficiency goes down because of it. And really, you know, leadership kind of goes down. Then how are they training the people that are underneath them?
Beautiful. So what I'm hearing is that it comes down, it boils down to you. Is that correct?
It does indeed. It does indeed.
It does indeed. So I would love, with your permission, to send you a proposal how I can help you step into a level 10 leadership so you can do an even better training and create an even better team. Would that be of interest to you?
Yeah. What would that look like?
It would look like to take a look at the core competencies of yourself, and core competencies are being present, listening, coachability, responsibility, to just name a few. See how you score there, what is really great, what is holding you back, and to make sure we change around what's holding you back.
Okay.
Tony, you got to call in about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got to go, but would this also extend to my team members,
Absolutely.
members of my team?
Absolutely. So if I can get your email address, and I'll give you my email address, and then I'll send you a nice little present about daily lessons. So let's exchange the email addresses, and then we'll take it from there. Is that okay?
That sounds good. Thank you,
Wonderful.
Connie.
Thank you, Tony.
Excellent job, Connie. Tony, how'd that feel for you?
That felt smooth. It was smooth. It was smoother than the initial. Not that the first one wasn't smooth, but this one was smooth.
Awesome. All right, Rocky, ready for round 2?
Yes, sir.
All right, take us in.
Hey, Tony, Rock Thomas again. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, Rock?
Hey, last time we talked, you had a call come in. Was that a client? Did you make a sale?
Listen, you know, always working on making a sale, right? But it's about making the positive impact. So yeah, I think getting closer, always getting closer to the goal.
Cool. I can hear the smile in your voice. Listen, I want you to imagine a year from now, you and I are in your backyard having a scotch, sitting around talking about this past year. I want you to tell me what happened that impacted it, that made it the best year of your life.
Well, I scaled my business, started another business, and am making an impact in the world by helping people change their lives and grow through what they go through, and help people change their businesses and increase their own productivity and make more money. You know, I like to help good people make more money so they can do more good.
So it sounds like to me, you like to grow people.
Yes, grow people and grow their businesses.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about what's preventing you from doing that at the velocity that you want.
That's a great question, Rock. So I think that sometimes we get in our own way, and you know, I'm all about continuing to learn and grow and and be a better communicator, be a better leader. And I've just done some more work with that. So I am forming some strategic alliances because, as the old African proverb says, you want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go far, you go together. So I'm in the process of assembling a group of people that are going to help me go far and make much more of an impact. Instead of just making the ripple on the pond, I want to make a wave.
Very cool. So if I had a couple of strategies, some things that could help you do that, is that something you'd like to learn more about?
Like I said, I'm always yearning to learn more and be better so I can do better.
So listen, why don't we get together on a Zoom call where we can see each other face to face? I'm going to show you the things that allowed me to grow my business from 94 agents to 300. And then with that step-by-step process, we'll see if there's something that fits for you and go from there. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
All right, cool. So listen, in the meantime, in the next 7 days, tell me one thing you're going to do to be a better version of yourself.
Last 10 seconds, Tony.
Okay, great. What am I going to do? I am going to finish a course that I've been working on and impact at least 2 lives in a deep, powerful way.
All right, cool. So send me an email with one thing that you did in the next 7 days, and I'll get my correspondence to you, and let's get this party started.
Sounds great. Thanks, Rock.
See you, bud.
Excellent job, Rock. Let's drop it with the judges. Judges, let's try to keep it please to 30 seconds of feedback per contestant, like 15 seconds of positive, 15 growth opportunity. If I could have permission, I'll just kind of hit it 30 and say score, please. Rudy, what do you got?
I get to go first. I'll go opposite order. Rock. Hey, way to jump in. You had them imagine the future, which is put them in an imagination state out of a logical state, which is great. You immediately dug into the block, what could prevent you from getting there. So you got his pinpoint. You give him a conditional test close. If I had some solutions, would you want to hear about it? And then you said, hey, I can show you how I did it. So you gave your own case study, and which was very impressive. And then you had a call to action, and you gave him some homework to do in between hands. So I thought that was phenomenal. I give you a 9 on that.
Beautiful. And for Connie?
Connie dug deeper into one specific thing, which was leadership. You had him do it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, he was an 8. And then you went into training, and you just dug deeper. But here's the thing that I thought you did extremely well is you had a very clear call to action. You said, can I send you a proposal, right? Which is really key in actually establishing that this is in fact a enrollment conversation for business purposes, and you schedule that for a future date. So I thought you did phenomenal. And I'm also going to give you 1 tick up on your score. I think you went from a 7 to an 8.
Awesome. Thank you. Donna, what'd you have?
Always forget about the unmuting. I'm going to start with Connie. I saw a beautiful improvement. Not that, I just upward from, I guess, the previous ideas that were shared with you. I felt the feeling from the first call to the second call. The first call felt more like, and even Tony used the words. He first said, he said good or comfort. And then I can't remember what your second word was, but Tony felt it as well. So there was a deepening, there was more of a connection. I really agree with that. You went single focus. I think the call to action was fantastic. I would recommend saying, you're going to put together a proposal. Can we book a call? Both contestants, I would also go up from a 7 to an 8. Something that both contestants did, I felt they put the onus on the potential client. And sometimes this is good and sometimes this is bad. So I think it's important to be industrious and make their life as easy as possible. So asking them to take your email address, to me, is a faux pas. Okay, that was him. I know, but you said something about exchanging the emails. You're unmuted, so I didn't hear you. So I'm getting lip. I have to read Connie's lips. But I think you did I saw a mass improvement, and it felt more comfortable and less salesy to me. Rock, I can't really go up there. In fact, and I don't mean to be harsh, I would go from a 9 down to an 8.5. Probably, I liked the accountability, but I didn't like where you said to him, tell me what you're going to do in the next 7 days. but I would have said something like, I'm going to shoot you an email to check in on you. Is that okay? I would have asked permission for that rather than dictate to the client what they have to do for you. Loved your energy, much more my style. Maybe teetering on a bit too excited, but you know him, so it makes sense to me. So bravo.
Excellent.
Got it.
Anja?
So I liked Connie's expertise. Her questions were, to me, showed her that she has done this before. You know, when you're using a consultant, you want to know that this isn't the first rodeo for them. And I could see that she's done this, and she, you could see the distance between what he wanted to be and what he is with the numbers. I really liked that, how he can step into the level 10 leadership. It was, yeah, everyone wants to be a 10 and I'm not there. And so I liked the presentation. Everyone talks about style. I like Connie's style. At the end, I was concerned that she's going to send a proposal and it's going to hang out there. And so I would have liked to have seen, I'm going to send you a proposal, but let's schedule another time to talk after you've had a chance to review it. Of course, this is all ad hoc, and you know, it's always easy to be a critic, but I really thought that I would bring you up, you know, at least to an 8.5 on that. I really liked the presentation. So, and of course, I also liked the Rock's presentation. I think this is, of course, a little bit easier than the intro. The intro is like, you know, asking someone for a first date, you know, versus the second date. It's a little bit easier because you've already got some amount of acceptance. They already gave you one yes, easier to get a second yes. And I thought he's very good at getting to that strategic, you know, what's your dream? Where would you like to be? I like that idea of how he did that. And sometimes you need to close your eyes and figure out, you know, in a perfect world, what would it look like? I was a little uncomfortable at the homework at the end of the client. I'm a much more reserved person, and I would have taken a little bit of umbrage that you're signing me homework, and I would have had you ask permission first. You know, how do you feel about this? Is that something you're comfortable with? But again, you're going to be dealing with people who are very similar to you, have no problems, and then you're going to be dealing with me, who's like, you know, a little too much. So I liked it, and you know, again, I would bring that up to an 8. Certainly, you know, a really good performance.
Anja, thank you so much. And quick question for you. Did I hear earlier that you trained 1,300 people in mediation?
Yeah, I teach a mediation class, and we have about 25 people in the spring, 25 people in the fall, and I've been doing that since 2005. So I'm past president of New Jersey Association of Professional Mediators, and so in addition to my practice, I do that training, and I do some other trainings.
So I'm hearing like a deep commitment to training, development, and people. Like, what drives that?
Oh, I mean, it's both, but it's a balance between running a practice and working with clients and training. And you don't want, I'm not a professional trainer, I'm a professional mediator first.
Got it. But why do you,
Right?
is it okay if I ask why?
In the end, you cannot be a good trainer if you are not in the field. So at a certain point, when there are people who are professional trainers, and after a while, they're not really dealing with the ins and outs of dealing with clients on a day-to-day basis. If you do a couple of clients a year, you're really not in the trenches. So you've really got to be first dealing with whatever's new in child support, whatever's new in alimony, whatever's going on. You can't be a dilettante. So you have to pick. But I also do training for the Bar Association. Mm-hmm. I'm first and foremost a mediator. I have a commitment to developing people in the field because there's so much bad training going on. So I came into it, as a second. It wasn't my choice to become a trainer first. I became a mediator, and then we saw what a lack of training was going on in the field. And so there is a need for good training.
Yeah. And I'm hearing though, like inside of you, this idea, like there's problems in the world that you're solving. So clearly very practical, but I'm hearing like a heart-centeredness of wanting to solve problems that are out there facing like New Jersey's legal industry.
Legal industry, or really as people who are going through legal problems or divorce problems, so that they don't have to in the end say, wow, I wish I had done it differently. But, you know, I mean, divorce is probably a difficult area of the law because people go in with an expectation of hitting a jackpot, and usually they don't get what they want. And it's not like personal injury where the legal fees are paid as a percentage of the settlement. You know, it's very expensive. You're paying by the hour, and oftentimes your expectation and your reality don't match. But you know, it's a great field. It's a second career for me. I'm very committed to having people resolve conflicts in a less adversarial manner, move forward with their lives.
Yeah.
Changing lives is what we're all about, right?
Pause. Did everybody just hear that? That's
yeah.
where.
Yes.
So that conversation, did that feel forced, Anja, between us?
No.
Right. And you're conservative, you're not that open, but now we're talking about your life's mission. And I had to ask you a few different ways, and we walked through it because you too are about changing lives. And that's what you're here to do. And thank you for your openness and sharing that.
No,
And
I
when
appreciate that.
Yeah, and we work, what we're doing here is what Oprah said. We're telling people, I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters. And Anja, every word you said, I heard, and we heard. And when she said that she was the past president, Tony, why do you think that Anja said she was the past president of the New Jersey Mediation Association?
Well, it gives her credibility and position, right? She's
Well,
that gives her authority.
And because she makes her feel good and she wants us to know.
Yeah.
Like every single thing that everybody says is for a specific reason. Because even the most logically minded amongst us are still emotionally driven. And my favorite thing, people are like, I am not, you know, I've talked to like neuroscientists about that, true statement. And I'll say that, and they're like, no, that's not true. I'm logically driven. And then I'll say, okay, do you have kids? And I'm like, whoever amongst you has kids, how is that ever a logical decision? They cost a lot. They cause immense amounts of stress. They're amazingly upsetting. But the reason you have them is why? Well, because we love them and we want like a legacy. Well, that's emotional. So we're all emotionally driven people. And what the work we're doing here is with authenticity and heart-centeredness, we're unlocking those dynamics and pieces. And I'm immensely grateful to each of you for your time and energy today. Rock, fantastic job. Connie, thank you. Rock, how was today for you?
Yeah, I mean, I love listening to you because I listen to how you get deep really quickly, and obviously you've got a practice around it. It was a fun experience, and definitely it's a beat the clock kind of a thing. I do a lot of enrollment calls for my business that are half an hour to 45 minutes. And I have a chance to build rapport and to take them all kinds of places. But it was a great experience, and you know, thank you for the invite. It was awesome, and the judges, very insightful feedback. Like you paid attention, great listening skills, and you know, Connie's been one of my mentors for a long time, so I always learn from her, and she's somebody who's very structured. I'm a little bit intuitive when I do my thing, so it goes around, and it's hard to role play. Like, you know, Tony, great job, because you're trying to, you know, fit in a box too, knowing there's 3 minutes in a call coming. So it was a fun experience, and thank you for putting it together.
Man, Rock, listen, and by the way, congratulations, man, on getting to impacting 300 agents directly, and God, I mean, I'm sure tens of thousands of people through those people, leading a brilliant life. So it's been a privilege. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'd like to get you on my podcast.
Well, I'd be honored. Thank you.
Okay, I'll follow up.
Yeah. Connie, thank you. Your leadership has been present. You may not remember, but I remember you. Our first encounter was at Leadership in 2018. You came by my group a couple of times out there in San Diego, and I was so impressed with you and all the things you're up to in the world. And I'm just really honored, and thank you, and I hope today was good for you.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you for inviting me, because there's a huge difference in time, like Rock said, but also when you speak for an audience that already has a knowing of who you are. So that makes it in a way easier, right? So you can skip some steps. They know your background, they know what you do. And to come to an audience that I really do not know, our judges, is a privilege, because I always like to know how I come across. I have my ideas about it, but they're only true if you get feedback from the other side. And the time crunch was a real challenge, and I appreciate that, because I like to have some more time, right, where you can spin and go deep. And Rock, thank you. We have many, many years as I had with Tony in our environment, and I appreciate the both of you immensely for what you do, what you stand for, and more so what you give. And you said that I'm very structured. I'm more like I have a result in mind and I go for that result. But it's not that they have laid out the structure of a call. So it's kind of, I think, a combination of like knowing the result you want to have and then going with the flow, going with your intuition, depending on who you have in front of you. Because for you, Donna, I would have been more upbeat with you, right? And it would be more matching and mirroring with you to make sure that you feel comfortable. But I appreciate the opportunity so much. Thank you for all your wise words on point. Thank you, Rudy and Anju and Dana, for the feedback. I've written down notes and notes to incorporate that. And I just simply, Sean, I love your initiative. I love how you're standing up. I love how you make a big difference in the world in many, many, many ways. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, all of you. Thank you.
And you've led and inspired me as well. And that's what we're all here to do together. So thank you. Anju, just quickly as we go final, I hope today was worth it for you.
It was a great experience. I mean, an hour and 15 minutes is a great learning, time. I would have been doing paperwork otherwise. So, and I appreciate it. I really appreciate your openness to judging, inviting someone to judge who you haven't met before. That takes a lot of courage.
It's true. Rock and Connie were out there courageously. And so were you for showing up today and delivering from your heart with integrity. So thank you so much. Donna, how was this? Dana, it's Dana, right? Is the right way to pronounce it? Dana.
Yes.
And how was it, Dana, for you?
Just remember bananas, then you never get it wrong.
That's what I was thinking. I kept saying.
I am a little crazy, so it works,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience. I'm apologetic. I have to say I'm a Sagittarian, so I'm super direct and super high energy. Hated sales my whole life, and then it ended up being the one thing that I'm really good at, although I don't think of it as sales anymore. I think of it as connection time with people. So I'm sorry if I came across harsh in any way because of those traits of mine. I thought this was wonderfully done. Very impressed by your conversation, Sean, with Anju at the end. Really beautiful flow. And to be able to move through someone who is more conservative and professionally based, it was it was really wonderful to watch you do that. Also, I did note that Rock managed to get a yes out of you at the end of this to be on this podcast, which was brilliant. Because how are you going to say no in front of everyone here, right? And I was hoping that Connie would do the same. We're not done yet, Connie. Get something out of this. and yeah.
Love to have a one-on-one with you. Would you do me the honor to grant me that?
And that's talking to me.
Are you talking to me or to Sean?
I would love to talk with you as well, if you would have to talk.
I would love to, Connie. I would be honored. Yeah.
Sorry, Sean. I'm really sorry. You're only doing how many of these oh my God, the real Raws a week, and being driven how many hours per day from place to place, because you've got lots of free time.
Can I say this from my heart, though?
Yes.
This is to build a mission of impact. And, one of my heroes and mentors is in common with this group, and I'm going to have the privilege to be at his house this weekend. And he unlocked the concept for me 23 years ago of the critical importance of influence in a seminar he did called The Competitive Edge. And from that moment, I realized that influence was indispensable. And I had no idea, just like you, Dana, and no interest at all in selling and marketing. To me, it was disgusting and horrible. And Tony Robbins helped me reframe that and understand it differently starting, long ago. And so this is just like truly launching. My kids grew up. I was a business owner, not operator, for a long time. And now we're going forward with it. So I am all in, and thank you for being all in today, Dana.
My pleasure. It was a real treat. Thanks.
Thank you. And Rudy, final, brother, how was it today for you? Thank you for your time.
It was super fun. I was a contestant a couple of weeks ago, so it was interesting to be on the other side of this. And it's a lot less pressure on this side.
Participant, and I'm so thankful to have you back.
So cool that I had Connie and Rock, because I actually know them both, and just appreciate the opportunity to be with you guys. Iron sharpens iron, so I love the practice here that we all got to have. So thank you for your contribution, Connie and Rock, and being on the court with us.
And we're finalizing plans to go down and see Richard Harmon and his amazing bride down in Puerto Rico. So we're down there. I'd love to connect.
Yeah, when are you heading down? Which month? Or?
Oh, no. There's kind of an open invite timing-wise, which will work out. Pandemic dynamics.
Cool. Yeah, I know where they're at. Just let me know when you head down there. Love to see you.
Thanks, Rudy. Tony, brother, great job again. Any final from you as we take it home?
Thanks. Listen, it's always great. It's always challenging. I always have to step in, put on a different hat. I'm just glad nobody made me a pregnant woman again. So that was good.
Or Donald Trump.
Or Donald Trump. Yes, I was the Donald Trump at one point. And again, Connie and Rock, both of you guys, and you as well, Sean. You guys are also been my mentors, and I've learned so much from you guys, and I appreciate really being here with all of you. And I'm honored to be here and contribute how I can and help grow this movement, because again, as you know, I'm aligned with you and your message, and it aligns really well with mine. So hand in glove.
Yeah, I am honored to have your presence, your generosity, and inspired by your selflessness, Tony, all the time. I consider myself to be pretty selfless, and I feel a lot less selfless when I'm around you and you're giving. So thank you, brother.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Love you.
Have a beautiful day. Love you, and happy Trajectory Tuesday. Thank you to everybody, and we'll be back soon. Influencing influencers to merge ecosystems to make the world a greater place. Thanks.